Hello, everyone. Well, I'm very happy to be here today, especially with presenting four companies that have something to say on energy efficiency. My name is Gabriel Nebreda. I'm the managing director of EDP Solar. And just for a quick introduction, we are a startup inside a large company. We started 3 years ago. And today we are leading the residential solar rooftop in Spain. So we are a company fully focused on energy efficiency and energy transition. But today we are going especially to talk about these four companies. Today we are here in South Summit with lots of companies presenting their products. Presenting services that accelerate computation, that multiply delivery rates, that scale up operations. So everything is about more and more, quicker and quicker, bigger and bigger. That's fantastic, but what about the energy that we consume to be bigger? I think that's a very nice question. So today we have here four companies, and the interesting thing is that we are going to go across the startup spectrum. So we have from unicorns, big unicorns like OVH, passing like attackers and scaling up attackers like Submit. We have non-profit disrupting companies like SolarCoin, and we have also startups like Orpheus. So hopefully you will have a very nice conversation. But here the question is, how can we disrupt our markets, but at the same time respect the status quo of this planet, which is not going to be an easy question. Okay, guys, so I will start with Antonio. Antonio Pizarro is the business development director of OVH, which is the #1 cloud provider, if I'm not wrong, in Europe. So the question to you, Antonio, is, okay, so what is the role of cloud computing providers in the reduction of the carbon footprint and the contribution to the energy efficiency?
Thanks, Gabriel. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much. For us, it's a big challenge, and also because all the cloud providers are impacting for sure in the environmental way. So one of the challenges here is how to reduce in the better way to be efficient. So in this case, we have 20 years experience being a European cloud provider and leader in Europe. And for us, with 30 data centers, one of the values that we want to bring to the users or startups today, it's the way of having the security that all the end users having the tracker of the power when they are having or using applications. So in this case, if you just think about, have you ever picked a Uber? Have you ever sent an email, or have you ever sent a WhatsApp message, probably 5 minutes ago, some of you guys? So what is the tracker of the footprint, the carbon footprint on that? So this is a question that people are interested in, and also for the startups. And if we also go to, most of the startups are in the path to scale up. So what's going to be the consumption in data, and the data finally have a footprint, and that's key. So for us, it's not only ethic, it's also a driver to provide the best-in-class services and also the best price performance. Because one of the things that we did 20 years ago, having the knowledge of how to build data centers, how to build servers, to connect everything. So we are an industry of cloud. Having that knowledge, we have the capacity to maintain and control the supply chain and the cloud chain. So having that, it's important to say, like, having all the steps in the right way, we insert the technology to provide the best efficiency. So in that case, it's quite easy. Water cooling is a word like probably you didn't heard about. It's the technology that avoids air conditioning in a data center. And this efficiency brings more than 50% compared to traditional data centers. This is something important. So one of the challenges that we want to have in the coming future is to control and to measure all the consumption and all the carbon footprint for the application of the startups that are deploying software and can provide this information to the end user in the way to get the information and to understand if you are eco-friendly or not, if you are in the right way or not. So that's something like it's going to be important for users.
Okay, and making a step further, so and knowing that we are in the South Summit, so tell us about any innovative project that you guys are especially proud of with regards in the direction of saving energy and energy efficiency.
Yeah, we have a lot of projects. Cloud computing is a market that is growing so fast. So we need to be there in the market. And just for instance, we started the year with 20 solutions, and we're going to finish with 80. So that's something huge, but this is something that we cannot go alone. So thanks for the ecosystem, and when we call ecosystem is partners, but also startups that are supporting us and are collaborating with us in this area to deploy, to configure, to finally deliver new services, better for the environmental, better for the users, but finally having a different choice in the cloud catalog. So one of the examples, and this is something like we are today in the R&D, it's the immersion cooling system that we are working on that is something like probably you heard about. It's not pretty new. One of the challenges here is how to do it at scale. So you can do it for 10, just doing an immersion of 10 servers in let's say, in a place. But if you want to do for 10,000, that's a new challenge. So we are probably investing on that, and in the coming future, we would announce what we do and how to do.
Okay. This is the beauty of this type of events, because he's talking about immersion cooling, he's talking about partners, he's talking about this type of things, and precisely beside him, we have a Paul Valls, who is the co-founder of Submer, which is a Spanish company, precisely is developing this type of technology, and hopefully we will exit this South Summit with an agreement here. So I have a couple of questions for you, Paul, but Antonio launched one about scalability. Don't just also please tell us about scalability. But
for sure.
My question to you is, which are with your opinion, which are the dirty secrets of data centers with regards to environmental impact?
Yeah, so that's a very good question, and thank you for basically doing my job, because you covered most of the topics already. But yeah, data centers are very hungry, are getting bigger, hotter, and more expensive. There is a massive limitation on the semiconductor company roadmaps. Basically, all this nanometric scale of transistors is getting to a limit, a physical limit, so that in order to keep up with the growth of the cloud, of the growth of the AI, blockchain, metaverse, and all these buzzwords, we need to feed more power in our chipsets in order to basically keep up with the roadmaps of Intel, NVIDIA, AMD, and so on. So this means density is growing, hyper-convergent hardware growing. This means that there is no one-to-one relationship between one physical server and one application, and you know it very well. You have the cloud, you have the containers, you have the whatever, that's an abstraction layer to the compute. So this means that in order to keep up with this growth, we need more powerful data centers and also more distributed, because as you know, during COVID times, you were doing a lot of calls and everyone spoke and the other answered, and there is this weird overlap. Imagine machines, machine-to-machine communications. No? This latency, these delays, microseconds in communications are really important. So what we see is hyperscalers trying to decentralize infrastructure closer to the end usage. So closer to regions like this, very warm and hot, but also in Middle East, in Africa, or in the North Pole. So more data centers, more distributed, more dense, and very hungry. Basically, the data centers and compute in general consume more electricity than India. It's crazy. And an average data center, an average cloud provider, usually uses direct evaporative cooling technologies. Glad to hear that OVH is looking at other technologies, by the way. But these direct evaporative technologies consume, on an average data center, an Olympic swimming pool of drinking water every 2 days. Crazy. So basically what we do at Summer is bringing sustainability, cost effectiveness for your pocket, and basically scale and flexibility to the cloud providers, the data center infrastructure, edge computing, and these institutional big crypto mining operations. We do that by a full stack immersion cooling technology that basically allows us to submerge any kind of compute in these bathtubs for electronics, like a jacuzzi for compute, that makes it orders of magnitude more efficient, and also allows us to slash by half the operational costs, what you were mentioning, and also slash by half the CapEx investment in these very expensive buildings. Another impact thing of data centers is these brick and mortar, usually ugly buildings that they place in different places and that don't create many jobs usually, and that spend a lot of energy. So the energy journey basically goes from generation and consumption, and it disappears. 98% of the electricity that these monsters need is translated into heat that is just rejected into the atmosphere. So by having a full stack liquid cooling technology like ours, what we can do is grab this heat and reuse it and transform it for other purposes. So closing the loop and empower the circular economy. All that without wasting water, empowering the circular economy, and also with an order of magnitude more density. So what you would have in 10 or 20 racks, you can have it in one of our tanks, and also at scale. So we are working with the top 3 hyperscalers. I basically encourage you to speak with us a little bit, because I think that these guys tried before also, and they came back to us, like the mining operations on blockchain and crypto. You can imagine there is no more price-sensitive customers than Bitcoin miners. And these guys tried themselves, and they came back to us because of the scalability and the form factors that we can do, up to the edge computing and on-premise facilities, up to the hyperscale, and anything in between. So this is what we do at Summer.
Okay, and you talk about your clients, you talk about the mining and crypto, and the potential future clients. But what are those clients of yours really implementing to optimize the energy consumption, or to maximize the energy efficiency?
We have very creative customers, very geeky type of customers, and we've seen many sort of things, but as I was mentioning, closing the loop in the energy, making data centers from, or transforming them from a villain that sucks energy and space to a hero that provides energy for the local community. So basically, what we have is data centers, for instance, in the Nordics, doing cloud services and reusing the heat for aquaponics. This means growing plants on liquid, or farming, basically cultivating eggs and so on. We also have deployments in Texas, where usually in Texas there is a lot of oil and gas industry, and they have what is known as flare gas. It's a byproduct of the oil industry. It's energy that is just rejected in the form of gas that it's burned in these chimneys. We can grab this energy and transform it to electricity, and then reuse it for our efficient, basically, tanks for Bitcoin institutional mining operations, and then bring this energy again to farming facilities and reuse it for other purposes. There are also others that use poo from pigs in farms to generate electricity and feed it efficiently to these tanks, and then create coins or cloud services. So in the end, what we see is many different creative ways, and also real estate being repurposed as data centers that otherwise wouldn't be possible. So for instance, instead of having massive buildings, very expensive buildings, why not reusing a parking lot if there's no people going to the office now? Or why not using a basement of a building that you are usually just using for storing, I don't know, whatever things, we can now reconvert it very easily to a data center, an edge computing data center that allows you to reduce latency, and then this same data center becomes the boiler of the building itself. So you are basically closing the loop and generating these synergies with the local community. So these sort of things are some of the examples that we are doing.
No, amazing, amazing. Lots of opportunities there. Thank you very much, Paul. Now we're moving to Francois. who is a solar expert and a blockchain and cryptocurrency pioneer. He's been for many years now in this field. And I was personally very interested because I wasn't aware of this project or company, which is SolarCoin. And I would love to explain here our audience exactly what you guys are doing. But the first question when we met is, okay, who can benefit from these solar coins? So it's about big solar installations like utility scale, or it could be also for residential rooftop solar owners.
Well, thank you very much for having me here. And I want to continue the chain, actually, because you've done a great introduction, obviously, on the solar side. We've continued with data centers and the consumption and the solution to that, but then the problem of Bitcoin mining and blockchain technology. And so we continue the chain here, and we continue afterwards, actually, so it's very cleverly set up. I want to say that what we do with SolarCoin, we use the world's most efficient blockchain out there, which currently uses about 20 megawatts of energy on a yearly basis. So just to put things in perspective, 20 megawatt hours is a factor more than 1,000,000% of what the Bitcoin blockchain does. So there's a lot of discussion about, what could we do if we grow big, grow more. Well, we do exactly that with something which is far more efficient than. We tend to see Bitcoin obviously as a huge big brother for us. It's a big tree in the forest, and we're just with SolarCoin, our SolarCoin project, we're a small bamboo shoot which is sprucing out in the forest of cryptos. And yeah, SolarCoin is granted for free, so anybody can participate in it. We grant them to 50-watt peak solar installations, so basically solar kits. But we're also working with the world's largest solar installation, a 2-gigawatt peak in the Moroccan desert. So it's open to anybody who wants to participate in the network. It's a free rewards program, and for solar power producers and consumers alike.
Okay, so I have two questions for you. So one is on the, I would say, user side, and the other one on SolarCoin side. So on the user side, so or actually, I do have a solar installation, okay? So how can I get the solar coins? What should I do? And do I have to pay anything? I'm going to get any money? So
again, as it's free, I mean, and anybody who's working with solar, so any solar power producer can either individually register their solar installation to the network, but we're also targeting solar monitoring platforms because we integrate a very simple API. It's this big on your screen, so fairly simple to integrate, and we grant those solar coins pretty much immediately afterwards directly to a wallet address. Obviously, you need to be crypto familiar, so you have to be able to work with a wallet applications, nothing more complicated than a bank account, I guess. And then you receive your first solar coins to that. Right now, the solar coin value is pretty low, so it's $3 cents per megawatt hour. So it's very low, obviously. But there's only upside value to it because we grant it for free to the solar participant. Where it becomes material, we believe it becomes material when we reach about 300,000 or 400,000 solar installations in the network. We're currently at 20,000, so we're currently scaling up. And the reason for that is then we reach a price point of $4 or $5 per megawatt hour, which in that case is significant to the balance sheet of a large IPP, so of a large solar installation, so think solar farms, and the larger we grow, so the higher the price of a solar coin, the more impactful it is on the return on investment of an individual solar power producer. So even for households, it has a lot of impact. Again, because it's free, again, it has only upside value.
Yeah, I mean, not everything is about money. So, I mean, actually for EDP, I told you I was very interested in using this reward because it's not just giving money to people, it's giving the demonstration that they are contributing to something bigger. So I think that's very, very nice. So you said, yeah, just the figure that I didn't hear you well. So what is the volume that you guys are aiming to? The volume that you guys is your objective to make this thing scalable?
Our goal, I'd say, is to bring in additional value for solar installations, so to have more people participating in solar at a global scale. We're currently in 150 countries already, but nevertheless, I mean, we're aiming to democratize solar energy, so to make it accessible. Accessibility is our main goal for anybody who produces solar energy.
Okay.
That's our main goal.
Thank you, Francois. And now we have Carlos Morales, who's a co-founder of Orpheus, who's offering a very, very innovative solution for buildings. So we have, in Spain, we have many, many buildings, which are, most of them, simple-minded, just to say something nice. So how to put intelligence on that is definitely a challenge that we have to tackle. So, Carles, how can Orpheus can help to generate a quick change?
Yeah, for us, that as you said, Gabriel, we are in the smart building stuff, and we are focused on, and also related to the question, on how can we design a solution that can fit for today's world. I mean, there's plenty of people talking about smart building stuff for buildings that already have to be built, or new solutions that you need to enter in the very beginning of the design of that building. Yeah. So as we think that the major challenge for this world now with the climate crisis is to fit solutions today for today's world, we focused on how can we help digitalizing buildings that are already built, like for example here in the South Summit. Yeah, any of you are aware how much or how is the impact of the energy impact of this event? Because having that space, like in a good climatization, good ventilation and stuff, we are not aware. We are just thinking about super new fancy buildings or super futuristic stuff, and we are forgetting the ones that are built today. Just to give a number, in 50 years, we will still have the 50% of the buildings are already working. So we cannot wait to put all of that technology that we are growing because it is too late.
Okay, but so when we go to a building, we usually don't take much care of that. I mean, it's kind of part of the I would say the view, no? So you enter the building, you do your work, and you get out. So you don't pay attention to much things. So how can you make this energy efficiency sexy for those who are entering a building and get out? So to start, at least pay 1 minute attention to energy efficiency of that building.
Yeah, I think that's the major thing that we want to see, we that are the occupants of the buildings. I think we are the ones that can only change the mind of companies and start positioning energy efficiency not like in the side of I'm going to or this building is going to take minor costs and stuff like that. No, we have to put energy efficiency on the core of the business, saying in a kind of reputation and explaining to everyone that is entering. No? And in that way, putting energy efficiency as a tool to grow more the company and not just as an operational improvement is the way that we are tackling it, in order to make it the thing that there is absolutely no sexy at all until now, that is energy efficiency. So try to make it a tool to gain reputation or to connect more with a company or with a building or with a business that you are entering in.
So, for example, you can put your Orpheus platform in the building, not this one, but the other building, and make the people who is entering pay a little attention of the energy around it.
Yeah, and in fact, we already put some of our sensors here in the South Summit. So if you find a QR of Orpheus, you will be able to check that.
Okay, we are energy efficient, but also time efficient as well. We are very punctual. We have few minutes left. I don't know if anyone has any question for these companies. Okay, it's 3 seconds left. So, okay, fantastic. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, okay, there's a question over there. Sorry, I didn't see you.
Hi, I'm Thomas from Air Team, and I have a question to you, Gabriel. So solar has been around for so long, and I know there was a peak about 10 years ago, and I think we are getting up there again. So what's, in your opinion, still holding back solar to power the whole world?
Wow, that's a nice question. But I was the moderator anyway, but I will answer your question. So, I mean, at least in Spain, we arrived to solar, talking about distributed solar, so rooftop solar, we are arriving 10 years late because there was a regulatory barrier. There was, it wasn't a real barrier, it was a regulatory. In Spain, we have everything. We have the sun, we have the technology of the meters, we have everything. We are probably the top 1 or 2 in terms of solar potential, combining all the elements that you need. But we kick off just a couple of years ago. Now we have to gain the time. Now Spain in the last 2 years, double the installations of solar rooftop every year. So I think we are in the right path. We have to catch up. But I think the potential is enormous, it's huge. Now we have a commitment not only to save energy, but also to be more independent. That's a commitment that all of us have to have. And I would say that this is not anymore an obligation of governments and big companies like EDP. It's an obligation of any of us as end consumers. You can put your solar in your household, in your building, in your small company, and can you even put a battery and get 90% independent from the grid, but you don't need to wait until 2030. You can do it next week. So anything, again, we are a bit late, but we are running very quick in Spain, so I think we should catch up quickly.
Well, maybe the same question to you, Francois, because you said you want to democratize solar in the world, so I think it's such a great technology because the sun is for free. So what is really holding it back? I think overall it's only 17% coming from renewable energy. I think some countries are a bit ahead, but what is holding it back?
Nothing, actually, right now. That's a great question because just last week, I think the European Union just kicked up their 2030, and actually it's decreasing to 2025 also, objectives for solar energy, and which is to double, more than double actually, the current capacity. We're currently at 1 terawatt of solar energy globally. To put things in perspective, one nuclear power plant is 600 megawatts. So that's the equivalent of 300 nuclear power plants, 200 nuclear power plants equivalent in solar. That's how much solar we already have. And the European Union, in the European Union, we're at 300 gigawatts. So the idea is to more than double that. I think it's 650 gigawatts. I don't have the correct numbers, which is massive. I mean, it's significant. To be honest, that's still not enough. So yeah, we hope there's a lot of tools out there. There's renewable energy credits. There's energy efficiency, of course. There's efficiency, of course, in data centers, which can help. So I think it all goes from two sides: better production, so renewables, but also mitigation on the carbon side. So producing less, having a better carbon impact, basically.
Yeah. Exactly. The end is, I mean, the question is, what is the environmental price that we have to pay to be bigger and faster? So the end, I think, in this South Summit, all these companies, we have to put our creativity, our energy at work to make things faster and bigger, but on the energy side, to be tinier and tinier. Thank you very much.